Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this tree. This is the tree from the Holtz, I think it's called the branch tree, the branchy tree. And it has a really realistic looking bark on it. So I'm going to show you how I made that today. Start out with a chipboard piece cut from the tree. And I'm going to take my black soot distress ink and I'm going to cover the tree, and I'm going to make sure that I'm covering like the edges too, because I want to make sure that, you know, on the sides where you can see it, that it's not that the chipboard's not showing. And I just want to color it all the way in. Now the reason I'm using ink and not paint is because paint would cover up the texture that's inside of the chipboard, and for me, I feel like the chipboard texture is really kind of nice to have. So I'm just going to make sure, be very careful on these edges when you're inking these little pieces, because they will break off. They're very fragile. I'm just going to cover it really good with that black soot. And just kind of pick it up and kind of rub around the edges just really good. I love this tree because you can do all kinds of things with it. It can be used for Halloween. It can be used for spring. You know, it's easy to add leaves to it if you want to. So once I'm sure that this looks really good and I'm liking where it's going, now I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and this is a trick that Tim Coffey taught us how to do with the one of his canvases. I think it was the sunflower canvas. So I'm just going to take my hot glue and I'm going to start at the base of the tree trunk and pull out little strands of glue, and I'm going to keep it kind of wiggly because, you know, the bark on the tree is never straight. And I'm going to go all the way up to the branch top, and I'm going to start on the next row. And you know, it's okay if you're shaky, you got knots in the tree, it's all good, you know, but I'm going to go down every single one of these branches with the hot glue. And I'm going to kind of fill them in all over the place. I don't want, you know, just one direction. I mean, just one row. I want to keep it really, you know, just kind of filling them in. Try and avoid the crossovers because you don't want the spider webs. This isn't a Halloween tree. It's a winter tree. I'm just going to keep doing this all the way up till every branch has the hot glue on it. And thank you, Mr. Coffey, for introducing us to this. I've seen quite a few people use this technique on their videos, especially during the Halloween season. We're almost there. Okay, now once I'm happy with that, I may want to put just a little bit more right through here. I'm going to let that sit for just a second and let all of that glue kind of harden on there where it's really wet. And there's a lot of spider webs from the glue, so I'm just going to kind of pick those off while I wait for that glue to dry. Get all those spider webs off, because this is not a creepy tree. This is going to be a snowy tree. And if you want, you can always take your stylus and just kind of, you know, get it in there and get those spider webs off of there. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to take, this is kind of a, it's called Country Tan. It's from Apple Barrel, and this one is almost empty. And I'm basically going to take and put some of that onto my mat, and it's, I mean, seriously, it's about empty. I need a new, this is such a good color. I need some more of it. And I'm just going to kind of, this is a really, really dry brush. And basically, I'm going to wipe almost all that paint off of my brush. I don't want hardly any of it on there. But I'm probably going to start out with my fingers, actually. And then just rub it around the tree. You want to get some of the bark. We're making bark, basically, is what we're doing. So you're going to kind of rub it into those ridges. And the black soot offers a really nice shadow effect to the bark, while this taupe color, when mixed with the black soot, kind of takes on that gray ashy color of an oak tree. If you didn't have this color, you could probably use a gray. I like this because it introduces the brownish tones into this. Like I said, just rub it in. Try not to rub off. You want to be gentle with it, but you don't want that glue to glop up like that. Just brush that off. I mean, the idea here is to dry, very dry brush. Getting it into those cracks around that, covering up that hot glue with this paint. See how it just comes to life? Just going to work that in. Okay, now I'm going to give that, I'm going to just hit that with my heat tool. Not a lot, because you don't want to melt the hot glue. But I just want to set that, I'm just going to set that paint down in there. Then I'm going to come back over the top of it now, and I'm going to grab my walnut stain. So this is going to be the walnut. And I'm going to lightly rub over the top of all of that paint. And what that's going to do is give it another undertone. And it's going to kind of help fill in those shadow places and just kind of give a little more depth and finished look to this tree bark. Love it. See how much texture we have in there? Let me put this on here. Then you kind of take on that ashy look of a tree. Okay, so now to finish it off, what we're going to do is, I have this puff paint that's white, and when snow falls, it falls down on top of branches. You know, so I want to really look at where there are tops for like a shelf for the snow to sit on. I'm just going to add it just to where there's a top. Only to places where there's a top. Now, assuming this tree was a three-dimensional tree, there would probably be some places up in here that the snow would fall into as well. This thing is almost dry. But we're still not finished. Let's see, make sure I got all the spots. Oh, right here. So now this is what we have. So now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to lay down a sheet of paper. And I'm going to take this, it's called Glamour Dust, and I got this at Michael's. And I have some already out here. And I'm going to lightly dust my tree. This is a super, super fine glitter. But what it's going to do is going to make my little fake snow really glisten. Now, I happen to use puff paint to make the snow, but any of the fake snow products would work. This just happened to be what I had on hand, and I'm not a fan of glitter at all because of this, but I'm gonna just kind of knock it off a little bit. But now my tree kind of glistens, and there you have it, a realistic looking tree that has bark and texture. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is going on a design team project that I'm currently working on, and I wanted to share with you the technique on how I created it. So thanks for watching.